Good evening. So let's just, let me just, okay, this is a little bit crazy. I'm trying to go live off both Facebook and YouTube. So I'm trying to go live off both Facebook and YouTube. Let me just mute my phone. How's everyone doing? No, I don't want any of that. So you guys, I was like, I'm going to talk soul journeys today, and we're going to talk about something kind of weird. Well, it's not super weird, but it's weird for me to talk about it. It's weird for me to even talk about this. I was thinking we could talk about Archangel Michael. So for those of you who are watching me on Facebook, you probably already have some idea about the insanity of my existence. We do the whole Archangel Michael thing up in here. And, you know, I don't know. It's, I guess, like a cool thing right now. Everybody want to be Michael's friend. I don't even call him Michael. I call him Mikey. He's just my homie. You know, he's been my friend for quite some time. He's been a part of my life for a very, very long time. Pretty much my whole life. That's a long time. The whole life. So do you guys know who Archangel Michael is? And for folks on Facebook, if you really want your comments readily seen by me, it would be good if you go to my channel. Let me get the link. Hold on. Okay, this is the YouTube link for the live. Facebook keeps pausing the comments on Facebook, so you can watch me on YouTube live and I'll see your comment right away. I love YouTube. At this point, I think I prefer YouTube simply for the comment factor. All right, so yes, Archangel Michael is supposed to be the angel of protection. He's one of, I think it was like 7 archangels. He comes from the first ray of creation. So when God first began forming thoughts, it said that one of God's first thoughts was the blue ray. And the blue ray is the ray from which Michael comes from. Okay, so he is like in charge of the blue ray. Now there are extraterrestrial species that are called blue ray. When I reference blue ray, I'm referencing Archangel Michael's family. This is his, you know, in human terms, this is Archangel Michael's bloodline. Okay, and I use that loosely. Bloodline. Angels don't really have blood. Well, etheric blood, but not like human blood. But anyways, so that's where I come from. That's where my soul comes from, Archangel Michael's lineage. And with that, we're typically housed in the throat until we balance our soul mission in this life, because each of us came into this life for a very specific purpose. Michael's lineage is like the highest level of servant. I'm just saying, you know, humanity has totally turned Michael into something else. He is a servant, okay? He is a servant. That's what he does. This is what he loves to do. He loves to serve the will of the one consciousness, all right? A lot of people are like, All right, Michael's talking to me. I'm channeling messages from Michael. Michael said to do this. Michael said to do that. Michael said you're evil. Michael. If you're a servant, if you bow down with no resistance to the will of the one consciousness, if you are subservient to the will of God's source, then you recognize within each part of creation, meaning every single human being that has ever lived, is living, ever will live, every bird, animal, flower, tree, everything exists a spark from God. Now, if Michael is the utmost servant of God, the right hand of God, doing whatever God asks of Michael to do with no hesitation, would Michael ever tell God what to do? I don't think so. I don't think so. I really, really don't think so. And people can get all upset if they want. They can be all like, Michael didn't tell me to, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm just like, why the hell would he tell you to blah, blah, blah? Michael don't tell you to do this or that. Michael's been a part of my journey for a very long time. A very, very, very long time. He never tells me what to do. At the most, Michael will ask me, are you sure you want to do that? Is that the highest level of consciousness that you are using to decide, to discern? Because Michael recognizes there is a spark of God within each of us and would never, ever, ever disrespect that divine consciousness that resides within each of us. So Michael is here to assist. It's just something that he does. No, you're whack, hun. You're whack. You're whack. And let me see. You say you got the key to the universe, and now you're talking about Jesus. And, you realize that it is, I'm not even going to acknowledge your screen name. You realize that it's a sign of your mental instability, first of all. And then your limited understanding, second of all. And your childishness to try and dominate someone else's thoughts. That's not godly. That's not angelic. That's quite the opposite of what Archangel Michael is doing. So, yeah, you say God is in control. There is a piece of me that is of God. So I am in control of this space right here. I am in control of this space right here. You are small-minded. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. So as I was saying, basically what ends up happening is Michael is here to assist. There are quite a few that are now actively mimicking Michael. So let's see. 1 second, guys. My internet is running a little bit slow. Just had to take out the trash. Just had to take out the trash. That's me recognizing the sovereign within me is a reflection, a lower convoluted reflection of God, but still a reflection of God. And the space that I maintain, it's for me to decide who gets to occupy that space with me. just as you are a sovereign and you get to decide who gets to occupy your space with you. And whoever you pay attention to, that's who you're paying your energy to. So that individual was removed because what you're trying to contribute, it's not a contribution. You're attempting to dominate this space that's not yours to begin with. I'm sharing my space. I'm sharing my thoughts. You don't get to dictate to me how this is going to go. You don't get to try and upset me. I'm not even upset. The only reason I'm acknowledging you is because the most compassionate thing that I could do for you as my sister in this light is correct you. You have no authority before me. None. None. You don't get to try and dominate me, just like I'm not going to dominate you. So you can do your own live, go on your own channel, on your own live, and preach to everyone. I can go ahead and share my thoughts, and you guys are absolutely free to either take in what I say or close it off. And I'm okay with whatever you decide. Truly, I'm okay with whatever you decide, but you don't get to come here and attempt to dominate me because, bitch, that's not how it works. Okay? I come from the Blu-ray line. Michael would not take that kind of disrespect because right now you're attempting to disrespect that spark of God within me. And that's how you get Michael all flared up. That's how you get him all flared up. But you're not even going to do that with me. You know why? Because of the fact that I acknowledge my concern is not whether you're worthy of me. My concern is whether I am worthy of more than what you are offering. And this is one of the lessons that Michael kind of is sharing with people, helping people to understand and grasp at this point in our spiritual evolution, because we're all evolving together. You know, this whole like, my way is right, your way is wrong. And you know, what that person was trying to do, it's just no. We can agree to disagree and it's perfectly okay. There is no right, there is no wrong, there just is. We're all at the base of a huge mountain, standing in different degrees in relation to the apex of this mountain. And if you ask someone that's standing on the west what they view, it will be a stark contrast to what the person on the east is viewing. Yet neither are wrong, because they're both describing the apex of this mountain from their vantage point. And someone who's climbed higher up on that mountain, it doesn't make them any superior. It just gives them a higher vantage point. So they can explain to those who are still near the base, no, you have a little bit more ways to climb up. There's things obstructing your view. There's no need for judgment. And that's what Michael's trying to help us learn right now. He's trying his best to really honor our sovereign space, not dictate to us. And honestly, I really question, you know, the people who are channeling messages from Michael. It's such a hip thing to do right now. And if you know, based out of ego, you want to be part of the cool crowd, and you want to channel this too, you want to channel that too, you want to build an audience and have like the pimpest angel messages, you're at risk. You're at risk because, hey, demons can mimic, you know, demonic beings have an elevated ability of mimicry. You want to come on my channel, you want to come on my page, start quoting scripture. Demons can quote scripture too. That's the problem. Demons can quote scripture too. Demons can absolutely tell you, if you ask them, you know, are you an angel? Yes. That's a half truth, but still a truth. Yes. I was an angel that fell, and now I'm a dark angel. You see how that works? So, you know, it's just one of these things where Michael is just, we're giving him too much authority, power over our journeys. And that's not what he ever wanted to do. That's not his function. His function was never to dictate to any of us what to do. His function was never to divide. You know, like one time I got accused a now former friend accused me of like, oh, you use Michael as an excuse to cut people out. Michael never told me to cut people out. I never said Michael told me to cut people out. What I said was that Michael gave me clarity, like, you know, your intuition is already telling you that situation is going to be fucked. That is not a friend. And I was like, no, Michael, no. I was wrong on that. I'm accurate for everyone else, but for that one thing that pertains specifically to me, my personal journey, that's the one time that I was wrong. And then he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, I'm sure. I learned from the last time. I'm sure. Okay. That's the most that he said. Okay. And yeah. Fast forward. Shit. I was so freaking accurate. It was ridiculous. But I mean, you know, that was my choice. And are we going to say, like, you know, Archangel Michael did that? He didn't protect me. He didn't guide me. He's protecting you from yourself now. Is that how it works now? Michael got to protect you from yourself? I don't think so. Ooh, okay. Kay on my Emmy Evolving page on Facebook says, love is the answer. Great that you were on with Michael tonight. Does he have anything he wants us to know? You found the demon that was trying to mimic Archangel Michael on me. Since the Blu-ray armor can now tell the difference. That's awesome. That is awesome. It's just all you need to do is begin allowing yourself to discern, and beautiful, beautiful, very empowering things happen for you. Not because of me, not because of Michael, but because you're now aware. And that's all Michael really wants to do is make, help us, assist us in becoming more aware, waking up, understanding that we are God with amnesia. We are fractals of God. Is any one person God? No. Are you kidding me? How could one vessel ever contain a limitless thing? How could we ever even really truly label what God is? I mean, it's Michael alone. It's hard to label what Michael is. Like, to me, my concept, my very limited human concept of what God is the everything, the nothing, and the spaces in between. You ask me, what is God? Who is God? The everything and the nothing and the spaces in between. Now, we are neither everything nor nothing. We are the spaces that are occupied in between. And if God, by my definition, is the everything and the nothing and the spaces in between, does that not mean we are all fractionated pieces of God? Does it? So Michael, he does have a mimic. There is something that mimics Michael. It is a not so good being. It's a demonic being. It's a demonic being, and, you know, or do we need to be scared? No. No. We don't have to be scared. No, hon, I don't poop every day. I don't consume enough fiber to go every day. I'm actually regular in my irregularity. And I would think that God could poop if God so chose. I mean, you were created, weren't you? I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure God poops. I mean, you exist. I think your concept of God is very, very limited. For you to consider God as a he, that tells me you subscribe to the false tyranny, false king of tyranny mindset, which is a patriarchal Melchizedek mindset. You are supporting the very paradigm that was created to enslave humanity. That's the paradigm that Michael and his family line, his lineage, was tasked to control, keep in order. Cosmos. From chaos came order. From chaos came cosmos. So, Christopher, you know, I'm just saying, we can roll with the punches. I come from his lineage. We can roll with the punches, But I mean, do you guys have any questions about Michael's lineage? I'm sorry, guys. I'm live both on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. And someone's trying to be cute. Someone's trying to be cute. So I was trying to be cute too. Yeah, I was trying to be cute. Oh my gosh. So, right, Hilda? I'm just saying. I was just saying. Yeah, no, like confrontation doesn't intimidate me. Sense of humor doesn't intimidate me. Ooh, Leon Nesbitt. Yes. He says, hey, Emmy, I made a realization today that many people are and have been deceived by archangel imposters. Yeah. I came to that realization a time back because there was a circumstance where an individual just kept purchasing like obscene amounts of items created by me. And it was always like what they were purchasing was always like the most powerful items, you know, like, cause I make patented selenite swords. And what ended up happening was, hold on real quick. What ended up happening was, it suddenly became confrontational because they became very possessive of me. And I was just like, what the hell is this? And what ended up happening with that, they like blurted out to me that Michael had been telling them to purchase all these swords. And my swords are not cheap. I'm full aware that the cost of items that I make, people have a tendency to pay quite a bit for it. And they blurted out that Michael's been telling them to purchase swords. And I'm like, stop bidding. Stop it. Like there's been some auctions that I had live and I was just like, stop, just stop. And then they came to me and was like, I don't even have $5 and my husband could go buy a sandwich for work. And I'm like, why are you fucking bidding on shit you can't afford? Why would an archangel tell you to become destitute? Like, think on that shit. You believe that an archangel is telling you to spend more than you can afford. And that's the same archangel that told you that I'm a demon and you need to destroy me. That shit makes no sense. I was just like, I'm sorry, run this by me again? First off, archangels don't deal with money. Like, what are you even talking about? Why would an archangel tell you to go broke? And have I not told you already? Like, the fuck are you doing? Stop bidding on shit you can't afford. Like, stop. If it's really that serious, privately message me. We will do a custom sword for you. Like, you don't have to go on an auction and bid like $600-700 if you don't have $600-700 extra laying around. And it was just like lost on them. Like, but Archangel Michael told me to. Boo. You've been lied to. That shit is not Michael. Michael don't do that. I'm sorry, guys. Michael does not do that. He doesn't tell you what to do. I'm telling y'all, you know, what happens when I'm needing guidance, the most that Archangel Michael will do is ask me, are you sure that's what you should do? Have you asked your highest self? Archangels, the ones of light, angels that come from light, they're not attempting to dominate. They're here to assist. They're here to assist. You know, they're here to assist. They're not here to dominate your thoughts. They're not here to tell you what to do. And there is such a huge, huge thing of archangels allegedly telling people what they're supposed to be doing. Michael helps your higher self to communicate things to you, but would never actually tell you what to do. I mean, they just don't. They just don't. That's not like Gabriel came with a message to Mary that she's pregnant, allegedly. Let me have my moment. I had to, okay, see, and right now he's talking to me. He goes, did you have to add the word allegedly? I'm sorry. I did. I had to add the word allegedly, okay? I had to. That's within the realm of my reality. I feel it was allegedly done. And so what's going on is that we're recognizing they're messengers. They're helpers. They're not running this show at all. In any way, shape, or form, angels are not running this show. And Kendra says Michael strongly insists or suggests. Yeah. For me, if I don't go and do, you know, what I'm supposed to be doing, there's a pretty hefty like consequence. And that consequence is decided upon by my higher self. Michael is not just randomly like, punish her. Like, get the hell out of here. Get out of here, Michael. You know, and when he knows that my higher self is about to like, Michael, we gotta make her comply. This is not what we planned for ourselves in this life. Michael, come on, we gotta make this girl comply with what we decided. Meaning me, myself, my soul, and I. Not Michael. And Michael's like, he says to me, are you ready? Anytime Michael asks me if I'm ready, oh shit. This is gonna hurt. Oh my God. This is gonna hurt. Let me just agree. Let me just agree. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm gonna agree to doing what my higher self has been trying to encourage me to do for some time. I just needed a little bit of time to agree. So, and I gotta make sure that I exist within the thought forms of what my higher self, no one else, what my higher self brought me into this physical realm to experience, you know? And Michael is just, he absolutely is trying to respect, honor your sovereignty. I mean, you know, I come from Michael's lineage. If you're familiar with the energetic work that I do, you know I don't violate people's sovereignty. Whether I can enter your field or not without permission, I will always ask permission first. The only time that I would ever, you know, just do it is if it's a grave danger type of issue. And then I always come to the person and like, hey, this is what happened. I feel horribly that I had to do this, that I had to defend you without first giving you the option of allowing or refusing my defense of you. But that's what happened. And even then, it's just the conscious mind I've received permission from the higher self because I come from his lineage. And this is what he does. He honors the sovereignty. On every level, the sovereignty is honored, okay? So even if I get the higher self's permission, to me, that's still like, I feel like I just, you know, that was questionable because I didn't ask the conscious mind. And honestly, I mean, you don't even really need the conscious mind's permission as long as the higher self has given permission. But still, coming from Michael's lineage, integrity, honoring sovereignty, respecting boundaries is huge, huge. It's just so huge. And if you can't grasp fully exactly what I'm saying, and that you feel that, you know, Michael has to be this concept of just goes and does it, like the wrath of God, like not unless he's asked to by God. Do you get what I'm saying? Not unless he's asked to by God. And when he's asked to do this by God, then that means a fractal of God that exists within you has given Michael permission to do this. So still, that's still not a violation of your sovereignty. So, whew, Archangel Michael is a doozy. He's a doozy. Sometimes I'm just like, Michael, just be quiet. Just be quiet with your questions, with the question. So I'm like, Michael, what do you think of this? Well, what do you think I should think of it? Shut the hell up. Are you kidding me right now? Why would I be kidding you? Okay. That's why I don't talk to you. Because it's a question within a question. I ask you a question, you answer me with a question. It's like I'm talking to myself. I'm just saying. It's like I'm talking to myself. I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do, but you're not telling me. And then at that point, when I start getting into that realm of like, you're not telling me, he gets real quiet. And I recognize to Michael that that's a very touchy, very touchy ground, you know, very touchy, because again, would Michael ever tell God what to do? Is that something you guys could see Michael attempting? Telling God what to do? Within each of us exists a spark of God. It's a spark of God. What do you think powers your body? Why do you think the body can no longer operate once the soul is removed? There's no more power pack. The machine stops functioning. As Caprina says, no way. I'm going to have to agree with you, girl. I'm going to have to agree with you. Ooh, Leon says, it amazes myself how so many hear instructions. Maybe I don't clarify enough. I don't know. But like when I give the messages that contain instruction, that's not from an archangel. That's from your higher self. Your higher self is asking this of you, is asking for your compliance. So that way you can travel in this life with as minimal struggle and suffering as possible. Struggling, suffering, those are optional. Pain, not so optional. Pain teaches you things. The greater the pain, the greater the lesson, the more likely you will retain that information for longer periods. So if I tap on a curling iron as it's heating up, no biggie. I'll probably keep tapping on that. Just tap it. Oh, it didn't really burn me. I just tap it. It's no biggie. If I burn half my hand on a stove and I need to go through a year of rehab to be able to make a fist again, and I never ever really regain function off those fingers, you best believe I'll remember that shit for the rest of my life. Like, I probably shouldn't touch the stove. Probably never. So pain is not an option. It's definitely a part of your path, a part of your journey. And one of the things that he's like encouraging me, he's like, he's not even talking. Like, keep going, share your thoughts. So, why did we ever become afraid of pain? Like, as a species, you know, as a species, we're so afraid to feel. We're so afraid to hurt. You have, and this is not a judgment, this is an observation. You have mothers giving birth nowadays, afraid, absolutely terrified to feel the feelings, the sacred pain of birth. Like, what's happened to us as a society that we would forego experiencing that exquisite pain of bringing life into this world? And it's just a question, like, if that's something you don't want to experience, I get that. If it scares you, I get that. I've given birth to 4 children, completely unmedicated, and it hurt. It hurt. I felt afraid. At a certain point, I was like, I can't do this. Oh my God, I'm probably going to die. The baby's going to die with me. We're all going to die. That's usually when the head's engaged. That's usually when the ring of fire begins. And it's at that point, had I been medicated and I just felt the pain of the pressure of that head engaging, life about to force its way through and make a claim on this plane, I would have missed the cue from my physical body to bear down, because we were never meant to just lay there. If you ever experience labor without any medications, you'll know after a certain point, and I'll tell you, for me, and this was true for all of my children, once the head was engaged, because I had labored for some time, I was exhausted. And it was in that moment where the head engaged, like ready to go through the canal, I felt so exhausted, so afraid, and so defeated. And it was at that moment I wanted to give up. For every single one of my births, it was at that moment I wanted to give up. And as soon as I gave up, I felt that pain engage full force. And I was like, fuck that, I'm pushing back. And one of my births, I totally, wow. I did not even realize this. It was my last birth, my youngest. Michael was there. I mean, he's there for all the births, but he was there. He egged me on. The doctor had threatened to put me on Pitocin, and I had refused Pitocin. I said, no, I'm not doing Pitocin. Every time Pitocin is used on me, I almost die, like literally. I literally almost die. And so I'm refusing Pitocin. And he was like, well, I'm the doctor. I'm giving you 30 minutes. And if we have no, because my labor had stalled, if we have no progress in 30 minutes, we're putting you on Pitocin. And he slammed the bag of Pitocin on the table beside me, and then he left the room. And I was left with the nurses, and I got real scared. And I remember thinking, fuck that. Don't fucking tell me what to do. You don't tell me how to birth. You don't tell this kid, this sovereign future king of humanity, when the fuck he's going to come into this. I was so riled up, like, you don't fucking tell us what to do. And then next thing you know, 10 minutes later, full labor, heads engaged. The nurses are freaked out. They're like, they can't find the doctor. I went from stuck at 4 centimeters to 9 centimeters. 9 centimeters. I was so like pissed off. And the nurses totally were like, no, mommy, no, don't push. We're looking for the doctor. And I got real calm. Like, I don't know which, I don't know if my husband is on Facebook or on YouTube, but he can attest to this. I got real calm in the middle of active labor. I was doing a pep talk with the nurses. No, ladies, you've been trained. Just go in between my legs, catch the baby. We've got this. I trust in you guys. You have got this. We are in control of the situation. Baby is coming. I am going to push now. and so I pushed. And the doctor arrived just in time, son of a bitch. Just in time. But had I not felt that pain, had I not been challenged, had he not attempted to dominate me, I don't know what would have happened. I really don't know what would have happened. But being from Michael's lineage, no, you will not dishonor my sovereignty in that way. I decide what I'm going to do with my body. My child decides when will be his sovereign birthday. No, I'm saying. Right. My husband says he stole my thunder for cutting the cord. I specifically asked and stipulated the cord is not to be clamped or cut until it stops pulsating, because I want every last drop of that stem cell from the placenta to enter my child's vessel. That mother fricker clamped and cut the cord, and then asked my husband to cut the cord closer to the child. And when I saw that, he had left the room already, and I saw that, and I looked at my husband, and I was like, you fucking see that? And my husband was like, calm down. Calm down. It's okay. Baby's here. Baby is fine. Baby is here. So he totally calmed me down. But that Michael fire, he never does more than what the sovereign asks of him to do. Never more, never less. Michael always just supports what that divine sovereign is asking for. He totally diffused me, Alina. I was like, hold the baby. I'm going to fuck shit up. Give me something to throw in this room. My Asian Latina came out of me. I was like, motherfucker, he cut the cord. And like, it's fine. It's fine. It's already done. You can't put the cord back together. Woo, woo. But again, at no point did Michael say, you better get up and you better tell him off. You better show this doctor. I distinctly remember this thought, and I got real calm, and it was just like, is what he said okay with you? And I was like, the fuck did he just say to me? I absolutely remember that moment. Absolutely. And I remember that moment so vividly. He scratched his head, the doctor, scratched the back of his head because he was so annoyed with me at that point. And then he wrote something in the chart, put his pen back in his pocket, and he goes to the nurse and says, page me in 30. We'll hook her up to Pitocin. I remember that shit. But what did Archangel Michael say? Is what he said okay with you? He didn't say, no, you fight for that baby. No, you stand up. And he didn't give any instruction. He asked me to decide for myself what my thoughts are on that given circumstance, and then determine my response. So you guys, if you have an archangel telling you what to do, that shit's not an archangel. Not an archangel. Definitely not Michael. That is definitely not Michael. I'm just saying, everyone want to be Michael's homie. Michael is elusive, exclusive. He doesn't talk to everyone. He doesn't talk to everyone. And we're going to have to be okay with that. You know, we're just going to have to be okay with that. Like, I don't talk to Metatron. Metatron doesn't talk to me. That's okay. Maybe I'm not supposed to work with Metatron. I don't talk to Sandalphon either. Like, that's okay. Maybe I don't have work with Sandalphon. We have to stop comparing ourselves, comparing our journey to someone else's journey. Like, oh my God, Emmy can do this. I should be able to do this too. You have the capability, but are you able to do it? If not, that's perfectly fine because you're not Emmy. Just like you're probably able to do things that Emmy can't do. And the fact that I'm talking third person right now makes me question. It makes me question. So let me just, hold on, guys. Do you guys have any questions at all regarding Archangel Michael? Ooh, Angela Bush says maybe I should, hold on. Maybe I should start believing in Archangel Michael differently because I react like that and I'm Native American and Irish. I don't know if you'll be able to, find information on this, but Archangel Michael is actually very deeply tied to Native energies, Native Americans, Native First Nation peoples, things like that. Much of his soul family filtered through Native American indigenous peoples. Yes, like tribes and stuff like that. Much of his lineage did that. Much of his lineage also were filtered through feudal Japan. Many served as samurai. Quite a few served as samurai, and that was to really ingrain that Bushido, the code of Bushido. It's, you know, you don't live with dishonor. You have to always live with honor. Like, you don't engage an enemy that can't defend against you. That's not a worthy adversary. So no, it's just no. That's a waste of time. That does not honor you. No. So it's just, you know, there's a few key times in human history where large numbers of the intact Melchizedek line were requested to come into vessel. This is one of those times. We are at a point in our human evolution where it has become necessary. A call was sent out, and a large number of Michael's soul family with the coding still intact. A portion of his family fell. Okay, if we're gonna be real about this, like, we really got to be real about Michael. A portion of Michael's family fell. So they're the fallen Melchizedek, patriarchal Melchizedek. And that's actually the patriarchal Melchizedek. They're the ones that volunteered their coding to be intermixed with Neanderthals. That's how you got Cro-Magnon, modern humans. So we're all from, part of us is from Michael's lineage. That's why he protects humanity so much. That's why. If you guys want to know why he protects humanity so much, it's almost like God wanted to experience giving birth and had Michael be the one, Michael's lineage, be the one to be a part of that project. I don't know if any of this makes sense. Here's a question. Do you have to be a part of his lineage to work with him or be helped by him? All of us, technicality, we're all a part of his lineage. So she says, I have connected with Michael so much and he's had a strong presence. However, can't really say I assume it's because I'm part of the lineage, which is fine if I am or I'm not. But I wonder, does he extend beyond the lineage? Elena, the way you've questioned, the way you've asked it, that's very indicative that you are. Because Michael's lineage, like, one of the things that I recognize the most, if someone's saying that they're from his lineage and like, I'm a Blu-ray, I'm from his lineage, I can do this, I can do that. Bullshit, you're from the fallen line. Because Michael's lineage, the ones that remained intact, 80% of their coding remained intact, undistorted. They act just like you, Elena. Like, I think I might be, but it's okay if I'm not. And I don't know, I want to help. And I know I'm not anything special. And I know that, you know, I just want to help. That's how they behave. The ones that came from that intact lineage, the 3 branches that remained intact, that's how they behave. Their ego, when flared, makes them shrink instead of inflate. When my ego flares, it's like, no one really wants to hear any of this. I don't want to go live. Like, who's even going to watch? This is stupid. Why would I even tell people this? Which is what I was doing earlier. God, I don't want to go live. Why would I talk about Michael? This is so stupid. Everybody already knows about Michael. They can Google Michael. This is so stupid. And then Michael's like, but is it really? Hella stern, but is it really? Okay, fine. I'll go live about Michael. Shit. But yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. So Kimberly says, you started to talk about Michael and the throat area. Where were you going with that? Oh, okay. Thank you for keeping me on track. So Michael's lineage, if you look at how the chakras are aligned, Michael's lineage occupies the throat. The blue chakra is the throat chakra. We occupy the throat. The term Melchizedek is actually not a name. Melchizedek is the audible tonation. It's what you hear. It's what was heard when God first thought the first form, which showed it was visibly seen as blue and audibly heard as Melchizedek. So with that, people from Michael's lineage, if they haven't balanced, because Michael does have a lot of power, you know, a lot of ability. And Michael has a lot of ability and a lot of power because it makes it more efficient when he's serving the will of God. Not because he's above other angels, but because it makes it more efficient when he serves the will of God. And so when we're not balanced, what ends up happening, that energy is not balanced and it begins to attack the throat, which then usually has an effect on the thyroid. Notice how many people have thyroid disease. Notice how many people have that issue with the thyroid. I have an issue with my thyroid. I don't know if you guys can see how swollen it is because I keep fucking forgetting taking my medicine. I like take it for a week, like religiously, and then I'll miss a day and I'll be like, oh, but I had coffee. It's going to block the medication. I'll take it later. And then it's like nighttime. Ah, fuck it. And then the next day, the same thing happens. And then a week passes and I'm like, my throat hurts. So you wonder why your throat hurts? Yeah, that's why. Let's see. Ooh, April says, my thyroid fixed itself. Hey, you know, I believe that. I believe that. I had a large amount of swelling recently in my thyroid because I kept forgetting taking my medicine. I've been drinking coffee. And like there were a few days where there was a circumstance and I had to really speak my truth and stick to it and just speak my truth in a compassionate but firm manner and not back down from that. And that's what I did. And like my throat felt beautiful, like ridiculously beautiful. And so what ends up happening is you end up healing yourself. And I fully believe that we're capable of self-healing. Every single last one of us is capable of self-healing. So hold on real quick, guys. Okay. So it's too late, boo-boo. I've seen your comment. Hate speech. That's what it is. What you commented was hate speech. And let me go ahead. Find you. Perfectly fine. Hold on, guys. See, here's the thing. I have a very robust block list on Facebook, and I'm going to go ahead and build a robust block list on YouTube as well. Let me see. Where is your comment? Hold on, guys. Let me see. Where? Well, you got lucky. You got real lucky. I hope you comment again. I really, really hope you comment again, so you can join the other trolls in the troll graveyard. There you are. There you go. She couldn't help it, could you? Your ego was just like, say something else. You got her to notice you. Yeah. You got me to block you is what you did. Thank you very much for making that easier for me. There you go. There you go. So Il Pikachu says, Sarah, I'm not trolling. I'm just making a joke. Please don't get triggered. Oh, well, you know, too bad. I don't feel bad. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. All right, anyways, back to questions. Let's see. Yeah, I'm forming a troll graveyard. Send him to the graveyard. Okay. Oh, Lisa says, holy moly, I was told that term, Melchizedek, by spirit 2 different times. So I began to research it, and listening to your lives, you've answered so many questions about it. Thank you for sharing. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's see. Robin says, I'm guessing different archangels have different ways of communicating to us. Yes, yes. And even Michael will have a different way of communicating with me than he will with any one of you. It's very much about honoring your uniqueness. Archangels are not cookie cutter in their approach. They respect and honor to the highest degree your unique expression of that God spark. So that's why, you know, even if you don't agree with me, that's okay. I honor that because I am from that Michael lineage, and Michael will always honor your sovereignty, your sovereign choice to be unique, perfectly unique, and you, because you're an expression of God. You're an expression of God, and the way you want to express yourself is you, you know, and if you want to express yourself in a shitty way, like a couple people, then, you know, the divine in me welcomes you to the troll graveyard. I'll bring y'all flowers sometime, never. Oh my God. Let's see. Let's look for another question. Michelle A. Blanding, how do you overcome controlling black magic with angels? For some reason, I feel as though I'm being encouraged to not give an answer to that. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to listen to that feeling. As much as I want to help you, Michelle, for some reason, I'm feeling like it wouldn't be appropriate for me to answer that on a live, or I don't know if it's just answering it on a live or answering it at all. I'm just going to have to listen to my higher self. I don't understand much of the stuff my higher self encourages me to do. Let's see. Angela, I'd been skipping lives because I didn't resonate with them, and I actually accidentally clicked on yours. I had been avoiding everyone. I'm wondering if that was accidentally on purpose. Well, clearly, you know, there was something in this live that your higher self's been trying to bring to the forefront of your awareness. And, you know, I don't know what it is, but I'm sure you'll have an idea of what that is. And it's probably something about your own personal journey that you've been working on for some time now, and the answer itself has kind of been missing you just by a hair. And so now you probably will get it all up in the face. Oh my gosh. So let's see. So Shemin Renee, Archangel Uriel keeps coming up in messages. How can I determine if he is my archangel for sure? I'm asking him. Okay, this is what I do for Michael. First, I'm told that if you're getting these messages from someone else, don't listen to it. That the message has to come from inside you, and you're just getting confirmation from someone else. So if you weren't drawn to Uriel before and you're going to someone for readings or whatever it is, live streams, and they told you that it's Uriel, question it. You just got to question it. I'm not saying anything about the individual that told you that. I don't know who did it, but it's this exercise of discernment. We have to begin really shifting the going external to get guidance. The guidance has to come from within, and everything external is supposed to merely serve as confirmation of that already internal guidance. Okay. And then secondly, because there's so much mimicry going on, especially within the spiritual communities, circles, whatever you want to call it, it's really important that you make sure that you are speaking to the authentic being. One of the ways to do that is to run fire around the being. And typically what I have found, if it's a mimic, the face will melt because they're wearing a false mask. And how else would you word that? Plastic. You know, it's fake. It's plastic. It's artificial. And what happens with plastic when you run fire around it? It melts. So if you have a question about, is this being truly angelic? Run fire on it. You can ask it questions. You have to be very, very specific about your questions. If you're going to ask something like, are you of love and light? Well, fallen angels are of love and of dark light. Like, they came from light. They're born of love and they fell. So they can still say yes, and it's still a truth. You know what I'm saying? So you can ask something like very, very specific, like, are you the authentic being known to humanity as Uriel? Or are you a fallen mimic of an authentic being? Something along those lines. It's very, very specific. I mean, if you say yes to that and you're not the authentic being, but rather a fallen mimic, and you say yes, that's a lie. That's you. You know? So be very, very specific. And if you still feel any sort of doubt, run fire all around it. Okay. And if the face melts, you know, you got yourself a mimic. Ooh, that's a very good question. High Vibrations 88 says, what about when Archangel Michael is used for protection spell work, candle magic? Is it a different energy? It depends. What are you allowing into your space to work on your behalf? If you don't know what it is that's working on your behalf, why are you allowing it? You know what I'm saying? So it's really very important we begin discerning. You know, I know with the candle magic, that's very popular right now. Being a bruja is very popular right now. Being, you know, like spells and things like that. Those things aren't inherently evil. They're not inherently bad. It's the intention. It's the lack of information, the lack of knowing, the lack of discernment. We've become such a lazy fractal of consciousness at this point. We want to be spoon-fed the information that, you know, no. We're getting to a point in our development where that's not enough. That's not enough. You know, we're growing, we're evolving. We need finger foods to feed ourselves. Okay. So, awesome. Awesome. Shimon Renee's thing has been coming from within. There you go. That's beautiful, beautiful. And then ask for external confirmation. Will you send me the confirmation that I need to verify whether I can accept this or if I should reject it? So that there's always checks and balances. You know what I mean? You're not just taking, and you know, there's times where, you know, Michael is having conversations with me, and this is this is actually how most of our interaction has gone up until, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, 3 years ago, you know, so that's like, what, 37 years of my life that I've been doing this to him. I had been calling him a demon for a very long time. He had been coming to me ever since I was a child. Like, I remember, my memory goes all the way back to before I was a year old. I remember these things. Before I was a year old, I still have memories intact, very vivid. They weren't traumatic, very, very vivid. I remember trying to teach myself how to walk. And so even then I used to see it and I was like, no, in my head, no. And I used to ask him, are you a demon? You're a demon, aren't you? I'm not listening to you. I think you're probably a demon. You're probably trying to trick me. I'm not going to listen to you. Who are you? And so he's used to that. Right, Angela, not today, Satan. Not today or tomorrow or next week. But he's used to that. You should be questioning, because when you question, it really helps to fully develop, really ripen your understanding of that circumstance. And when you ask and you ripen, it actually helps you to learn even more. It increases the potentiality of that circumstance, of what you're being gifted. And so Michael doesn't have a problem with being questioned. Michael doesn't have ego like that. And if you have something that you're communicating with that says they're Archangel Michael, you're not allowed to question. That is not Michael. That is not Michael. He doesn't tell you what to do. He doesn't have an issue with questioning. He also does not melt. He doesn't melt. I'm just saying. He doesn't melt. And he doesn't do quite a bit of the things that is being put out there about him. He just really doesn't. He's the most social introvert ever, is what it is. If you have an ambivert who is primarily introverted, unless it's a professional setting, kind of like how I am. I'm an ambivert, but I prefer introversion unless it's a professional setting, at which point I will communicate and be cordial and welcoming. But I know it's like, he just went like this. Okay, that's how I know that we're really good friends and that we're close. That's how I know, because he talks to me. Sometimes he often actually doesn't have a sense of humor. He can be very militant and impatient with me. He doesn't force me to, but it's just like the energy of, they're like, oh, God. Okay, I guess okay, you're not going to comply. Okay. You know, that's the kind of energy that I get from him if I don't want to do what all of my higher self is telling him to get me to do. And he's just like, fine. There's a lot of face palming, a lot of head shaking. I'm like, you're going to get repetitive movement injury in the neck if you keep doing that. And he's just like, that's how he looks at me. You just go like that, but that's fine. You can be, I wouldn't recommend you being sassy with him, because that's my personal relationship with him. he'll take it if y'all try. I don't even call him Michael. I call him Mikey. Or I call him Michaela. Okay. Vate says, I apologize for asking, what is the conversation about? No, you don't have to apologize. We are talking about Archangel Michael. We're talking about some of the things that I've experienced with him in my life, how quite a bit of the things going on that involve Michael aren't really okay. This is just some weird shit happening right now. All right. I'll explain what just happened. So I'm at my brother's house, still visiting, and there's a sprinkler in the ceiling. And I've seen that sprinkler quite a few times because they've been here for some time at this point. I felt and vaguely saw something shift, and I'm looking, and the entire sprinkler cover is shifted kind of to the side, like something is now trying to view me from the sprinkler. Not even joking. And some of the, I don't know if that's like spider webs and insulation has fallen through. And it's kind of just dangling there. We're just going to leave that. We're just going to leave that. Let's see. That's right, April. Not today. Not today. So what I wanted to do before I head off, I wanted to run some energy through. Just do a non-specific induction where I'm just flooding the space with this energy. And of course, your higher self has to give permission for that energy to enter. And this energy is calibrated to be felt by those who have a connection with Michael. You guys want to try that out? If you'd like to try that out, I can go ahead and do that. And then you guys will be able to feel, it'll be high heart area and then below the heart. Does my brother have gifts? I have several brothers. One of them, the one that I'm closest to, is beyond gifted. What I do with energy, he can do with a physical body. He works with like all the top athletes. Some of his most well-known clients, it's like the who of who for MMA. He just got back from Vegas last night. He was going and hanging with his buddies, Nick and Nate Diaz, the Diaz brothers. And yeah, I was like, we let them know if they need an exorcism. I'm joking. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I'm not into MMA, so I'm not like on their jog. I'm like, oh, that's good. We'll have fun with your friends. Because I'm totally mama bear. I mean, he's much older than me. My brother's like 8 years older than me, but I'm such a mama bear with him. Okay, you better behave in Vegas, okay? You better not get no phone calls that you need to be bailed out. I ain't got no bail money. I'll be saying shit like that to him. But okay, let me go ahead and run this energy. Let me just, I like to listen to musica. Listen to music. I'm going to run this energy. And then if you want to be a part of it, beautiful. You don't have to do anything. Just kind of breathe very deep and very slow. And if you don't want to be a part of it and you just want to observe, beautiful. You don't have to do anything because the energy is not going to enter your field. Okay. Let me just get a song. All right. So breathe very deep and very slow. I'm going to be pulling this from Michael's fire. Some of you in the audience right now are in fact Blu-ray. Your higher selves have brought you to this live stream, whether on YouTube or Facebook is irrelevant. Your higher selves have brought you to this live stream to receive this activation. As they have requested, I will comply. You may begin to feel very hot. I'm burning off any impurities. You might feel me enter through your third eye. You might also begin to feel a stretching sensation within your cranial space. You might feel a fullness in your head, mild discomfort. Ice fire at the back of your head, base of skull, top of neck. Down the back. Activate your Kundalini. You might feel tingles and ice fire starting at your tailbone, wrapping around each vertebrae as it climbs back up to the foot of seat of soul, where she belongs. This is not Reiki energy. Whoever is sending Reiki energy, you really need to stop. Draconian coding is not allowed in this sacred space. Your ability to transmit draconian coding has been taken from you temporarily. Feel this sterile. Flooding this field with Blu-ray energy. Your higher selves, for those who are Blu-ray, have asked me to also place Blu-ray armor upon you. As requested, I will comply. I have to take you up outside of this time-space matrix to pressure lock your suit. It's going to feel as though we're climbing in an airplane very, very quickly, climbing altitude. You might get motion sickness. You might get mildly dizzy. Make sure you're seated. When we get high enough, we're going to free fall. Initiating climb. 6, 8, 10, 13, 14, 15, exiting matrix. 16, hyperjump. 35, jumping. 98, jumping. 150, jumping. 190, free fall. Entering matrix, anchoring 15. Armor's installed. Systems working beautifully. To my soul tribe, welcome home. Flooding the space with additional energy. Those sensitive to energy might begin to feel somewhat emotional. This energy is the Melchizedek cloister of the Emerald Order, the lineage I come from. We serve as the guardians of creation. How do you guys feel? Okay, so Alina says, do any of your brothers look like you in your vids with the beard and glasses? I actually look like my brother, like a lot, like a lot. Thank you for your suggestion of simply clearing my mind. listening to my heart and not music, but I actually don't function like most people. I don't function in that way. I figured out a way that works best for me. And although I appreciate your suggestion, I'm going to just have to honor my needs and my organic process. And that's the most beautiful thing. That is the most beautiful thing about true spirituality. It's not cookie cutter. What works for me does not always work for other people. What works for other people does not necessarily work for me. I'm actually incapable of meditating for myself. I'm not able to. But I can do tremendous work for other people. And that's okay. I don't need to conform. I don't need to fit into some mold of what spirituality is perceived to be or supposed to be, or what is deemed spiritual and not spiritual. Because honestly, to me, the most spiritual thing that I could ever do is live organic to me and my needs. To be silly and play and feel the full range of motion and emotion as I was created to do, as I was invited into this life to experience. That's the most spiritual thing I could ever do. Yay. You guys, I'm loving what you're sharing with me. Keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing. Oh, well, that's beautiful. He said, indeed, I will respect your decision. We are all different. I dance in the woods with my sword to connect with the algorithm of time. That's beautiful. People are feeling stuff. Nikki Bishop, oh my God, that really just got to the heart of me. She says, Emmy, you pulled me from a dark place tonight. So much love to you, Nikki. Do you realize it's in the darkness you understand and begin to fully grasp the true gravity of your light? Darkness is not necessarily evil. Sometimes it's in that darkness that the most growth happens. It's in that darkness that the seed becomes a seedling, that the roots grow, the seedling sprouts up and reaches for the light. It's in the darkness that you are formed. In the secret of your mother's womb, it's dark. So sometimes, you know, maybe the darkness is where we need to sit for a little bit before we punch through that darkness and head back into the light. I don't know. There's this Friday on my YouTube that says, I dance with my double animal style, hold the pickles. Something tells me you're a sexy ass man. I'm going to have to lick claim you. And for those on YouTube that don't understand, I'm not requesting to lick claim a random stranger man. That's actually my husband. 20 years. Okay. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Don't be sliding into my inbox asking me to lick you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Now I'm saying. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you for sharing this space with me, for being open to my ramblings and experiences. You're invited. You're not just welcome, but you're invited to explore these thoughts and just see how it fits into what you understand to be your reality. Just see how it fits. I'm not necessarily right. I'm not necessarily wrong. I'm simply sharing. And, you know, you guys do with that whatever feels most appropriate and beneficial for you on your journey. Look it up. Look all these things up. I don't know if you're going to find anything. I don't know if you're going to find anything. I figured just look it up. But hey, let me give you guys a message. My favorite deck. We're going to get a Kiki card. Okay, just real quick, I want to give you guys a card as my thank you for staying and listening and talking with me about Michael. He's been really working with me, trying to encourage me to stop being so shy about the things that I know I can do, but I'm just like, but I don't do it right. Like, I don't do it like other people. They're going to think I'm weird. And he's like, well, that's the best thing about you is that you are weird. Okay. Thank you, I think. Okay, here you go. This is a message from our higher selves, okay? Ooh, shit. Y'all, this is deep. Okay, let me just calm myself down. This is deep because of the fact, was I not talking about at the beginning that all of us, every single last one of us, is at the base of this mountain, staring up at the apex. We're just sitting there staring at the top where God is, right? Because the apex, the highest point, is God. Well, okay, to the celestial mountain, card number 41, look up angel number 41. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 is change. We are not going to continue sitting at the celestial mountain. Our higher selves are sick and tired of us just sitting bored, not putting into action the very energies that we are using to co-create this reality. Now, look at that. That violet flame protecting our crown space. High levels of blue Michael fire, along with the sacred fire of our root chakra, the base of who we are, where we are planted in this life, have combined together to form that purple. You are protected. Your sovereign space is protected from above and below, combined together. Okay? She's sick and tired of sitting. We have to go to the celestial mountain and start climbing up. Now is the time for us to begin planning our ascent. Okay? Let's start planning our ascent. Our rise back up to our greatness. We have to rise back up to our greatness. It's time. Our higher selves are ready. Like, we are ready. Look, does she look afraid? She looks like she's just, I'm sick of this shit. You have me sitting here for so long. I'm so sick of this shit. That's my face waiting for my boba. This thing's taking so long. With my lotus flower. I'm going to start carrying around a lotus flower with me. And when like I give attitude and people are like, who the hell you think you are? Kiki, okay? I'm a Kiki is what I am, okay? Just give me my boba. Oh my God. All right, guys. Thank you again for sharing space. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. I come live quite a bit on YouTube. If you're on Facebook and you haven't already liked my page, please like my page, share this out, you know, do your thing, do your thing. Thank you guys. Have a good night. So let me try and